Now that we learned a lot about what progressive web apps are and why they are awesome, let's build our first very simple one. And for that, as I already mentioned it, please use Chrome. I strongly recommend it because whilst we will build it in a way, the course project I mean, that it also works on older browsers, you of course want to see all the new features you're using, right? And Chrome is one of the browsers which supports most of them, or all of them actually, we will use in this course. So I recommend using it. Now throughout the course I will always highlight which browser supports what, but again Chrome is the one supporting everything. Additionally, the developer tools are awesome, I'm going to use it, and it'll be easier for you to follow along if you're using Chrome. Of course you can go back to your favorite browser outside of this course again then. Besides Chrome, we'll also need Node.js. Now we're not writing a server-side application here, but Node.js ships with NPM, its package manager, and it's the de facto package manager for development projects, for front-end JavaScript development projects. And we will use it too, to install some dependencies, mainly one dependency, a development server to really simulate that our application runs on a server, even though it runs on the local device. So make sure to visit nodejs.org and simply download the latest version. If you're having problems with that, choose 6.11 instead, or whatever the latest stable version is at the point of time you're viewing this. So make sure to download and install Node.js. Again, we're just using it to bring up that development server and to manage our dependencies, our libraries, and so on. Once you got all of this set up attached to this lecture, you can find a download. Download it and open it in your favorite IDE, Sublime, Atom, WebStorm, Microsoft Visual Studio Code, whatever that is. This is the starting project we'll use here. Later in this course, we'll use a different project though. Now here, first of all, with Node.js installed, you need to open up your terminal or command prompt on your operating system. And this here is the normal terminal, just integrated into my IDE, and navigate into that project folder. And in there, simply run npm install. npm refers to this Node package manager we installed automatically together with Node. Once you hit enter, this will install all dependencies, which is only one in our case. You can check it in the package.json file. It's this HTTP server here. Now, this simply is a development-only server. Why don't we just double-click on the HTML files? Because if we double-click on them, we use the file protocol, and that's not HTTP. And for that reason, all the features I want to show you won't work because it's not really served like a web application. We want to simulate it as such though and test it as such, hence we need a web server. And this is a super simple development only server where we don't need to write any code to get it to run our app. Once you did install it, you can run npm start in the same terminal and keep that running because the server needs to keep running. And then here you see the URL under which you can see your application. Now let's open it by simply navigating back to the browser and entering it here. You could also open localhost 3000 by the way. And you will see this is the application I want to start with. It plays a nice little animation showcasing the advantages of progressive web apps and what you're going to learn in this course. It's nice, but it's a normal website. Let's turn it into a progressive web app together. Back into your project, open the public folder. And there you see that sw.js file. That's going to become important. I'll explain what it is, a service worker, later in this course. For now, let's go to source.js and then the app.js file. Here's a very simple code to run that animation by simply adding CSS classes every X seconds. Now, before we execute that, let's do something else. Let's run navigator.serviceworker register. And there pass a string where you point to /swjs. So basically to that file. That's all for now. Just add this line. Now save it and thereafter reload your page. Now let's open up the developer tools and go to the application tab. If you click on service worker, you now see that this is populated. We'll come back to what exactly happened here later in the course. You also see I'm previewing this as a native device or as a mobile device. You can always toggle between these displays. I like this quite a lot because we're building something which should look good there. So why don't we use it here? And now with that, let's take offline here or under network offline. Also make sure you disable the cache here under network. Now if we reload the page, you see, it still works even though we have no internet connection anymore. And you could say, yeah, makes sense, it's running on my local machine, right? Yeah, but if we tick the offline button here, Chrome will basically simulate that this internet is off, that this browser can't connect to this server. And keep in mind, we have a real web server here because we did start one. We didn't just double click the HTML file as I explained. So this really is working in offline mode. And if you don't believe me, go to Application Service Worker and click Unregister there and reload again. Now you get this there is no internet connection screen. This is our first application where we successfully register a service worker so that our application works even if we are offline. Now we'll learn much more in this course, but this is a great first step. And we'll build up on this and learn how we can use different strategies to decide what to store for offline usage and what not, how to add these push notifications, and much more. I can't wait to dive into that with you. So with that, let's not lose any time and let's continue seeing what exactly makes up progressive web apps and which features you're going to learn about in this course.